I'm excited to, let you guys see what I do with the things we talk about and how it's, turned into a real life situation, I guess. But I'm just gonna get it out.
Saturday, we do get national. They're from Buffalo. It's not strictly.
And I gotta open up a different things.
No problem. This is the switch I got right now. Even you won't notice when it's at 10. Your neighbors will, but you won't. Yeah, well, when we were younger, we used to do stupid things like stand right in front of the speakers at concerts. Yeah, that was me. And I worked at the War Memorial, and that was pretty much the end of a lot of normal.
So what I'm about to play is the latest single that my band released. We have a music video. It's on Spotify, iTunes, all streaming platforms. There's not a clean version, but I'm gonna play an instrumental version, so you'll get that.
What's the name of your band?
Nightmares. So, Nightmares. just to get that on there.
Awesome. Yay.
So what I wanted to accomplish by playing that, you know, I wanted to have a small, you know, kind of discussion about, you know, that's a song that I wrote and what, you know, it takes to write a song, you know, as a guitar player and stuff like that. So, I mean, if you're, you know, if you've been my student for a minute, you probably have noticed, you know, a lot of the techniques that I was using are things that we talked about. There's like, you know, every what makes a guitar unique we talk about a lot. So kind of it's interesting. So there's a lot of, I mean, things that a guitar can do. And this is information maybe for parents, but there's a lot of things a guitar can do that other instruments can't do. For example, I mean, the one is, you know, you can do slides, right? So you can't really slide on a piano. You can't slide on a flute, I don't think. I mean, it's very kind of specific to that voice, which, so, I mean, that's just one thing. I mean, another example, I mean, I might be getting ahead of it here, but like, there's things you can do, such as like pull-offs. So what you do, and all of my students probably know this, but what you do is you basically, you start on a, so basically you can play a note, and if you take your finger off the note, it'll play another note, which is like something interesting, I guess, to me, because if you put your hand on, if you play a note on a piano and lift your finger up, the note stops. So, and I'm not gonna get too far into it because that's really not, you know, why everyone is here, but eventually, you know, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be the only one, you know, performing a full song up here today, but, you know, my goal is to, you know, set up more events like this. Just keep people coming up on stage and performing, you know, doing whatever. So that's out of the way. That's something that was really important to me. So I really appreciate everyone for being here, even though I potentially lured everyone here, but it's whatever. But so why we're here? I mean, the House of Guitars, the world's largest music store. I mean, it's here in Rochester. We're all from the Rochester area, so to me, you know, it was when I was this age and I came here for the first time, it was just such an inspiration to see all the instruments and, you know, memorabilia, what have you. You guys have all been here for a minute, so you have all seen at least something, you know, Bill Clinton's saxophone or whatever. I mean, so everything and anything. And if you are shopping for instruments, I mean, really, there's not really a better place to go. I mean, this place has the best pricing and, you know, the most guitars. So it's a great, you know, resource to use if you're a musician. And one thing I did want to, you know, just somewhat touch on is, you know, the families and, you know, the parents, and, you know, my mom's here. My dad used to, stop here on his lunch breaks. He's now passed away, but he used to, he stopped here, bought me my first guitar kit, bought me a metronome one time. He would just, stop by here one day, and then one day he brought me here to get an amp, and, it was just such a, then, my aunt and uncle brought me here to, buy a guitar, and it's just, they've just been around for so long, for all generations, and whatever your needs are, they'll accommodate, and they'll probably be able to go above and beyond more than Amazon or any other place too. So it's really awesome that everyone is here supporting their families. It's awesome. So that's pretty much all I wanted to get out of the way for as far as an introduction goes. So what I want to do now, so we got a ukulele, giveaway here, so don't forget to sign up for that. Put your name and number on a card with this nice Fender ukulele. So some of my students are, either in need of upgrades or, right now, since they've been here, they want an upgrade. So, and, it's really not the point of doing this, but we're at a music store, so I would like to try to maybe sell some guitars for them or help them on that aspect, and also educate everyone, families and students, and just get people, up to speed on, what is needed for getting started, or beginner to more intermediate levels. So everyone here is, one of my students and stuff. So it's really cool. I'm very glad you guys are here. So the first thing I would like to do, I think I would like to have Leo and Dominic Pino come up and help me out here, because what I want to do is, just come around up the stairs. So I started with these brothers. I started with these guys, a month or two ago, I think. I've had a handful of lessons with them. They're very, very talented and focused, and I sent a message to my parents, saying I was looking for volunteers, and these guys were all for it. So I teach guitar, I play guitar, I primarily play guitar. I also do teach drums and ukulele. So, this is just to get you an idea of what, something might look like for a player. Leo, he's the perfect size for this kit right now. The thing with, buying smaller size instruments is you're always gonna have to think about upgrading in the future, but, personally, drum sets, you can't really go wrong, because, it's a therapy, a therapy session, and then you can get musical with it if you want to. But it's a good. I have Magnolia, 6-year-old, somewhere here at home, and and I don't think she's around here right now, because she'll throw a tantrum.
Went to the car for a second.
Okay, good. And then next thing you know, she'll be just tapping away on the drum set, and everything's fine. So it's interesting, and it's something cool. But so what we're gonna do is, this is just entry-level drum set. We've been working together for a couple weeks. We've been working on a couple of different exercises to get some speed up and stuff. So what we're gonna do is just give a little demo of what this little drum set sounds like. Get these guys an opportunity to rock out on the stage. So go for it. it's a new setup. I can tell there's a little bit of things going on, but it does sound great. It's and you know, this guy's got a great sense of rhythm and stuff. So you know, awesome, great job. Thanks. Sorry. So yeah, we got. So what is going on here? It's not your typical Walmart drum set. It's gonna cost a little bit more. It's gonna be in the $200-300 range, but you know, most likely after all is said and done with taxes. But what you get with this is, you know, these heads, they're replaceable. You can, you know, remove this, put a new head on there, and actually, you know, get more life out of it. So if you have multiple, you know, kids in the house and one outgrows it, you know, it gets a little beat up, you can actually, you know, upgrade all the parts to where it's like, you know, a professional drummer could sit down and play this. They do, you know, sometimes it's happened before. You know, professional drummers will sit down and you'll see it on probably like TikTok or something like that. You know, someone just with a kid's drum set, you know, but you can make it sound really good, and you know, it's a good way to get started, and at the least it's therapy. So you know, it's good. It's a go for me, drum sets. But now we have the ukulele here, and this is the one that, you know, I'm giving away. And so, you know, ukulele, smaller body, good for small hands. It's also a higher pitch than a guitar, as I'm sure most people know. It's awesome, and they're a lot of fun. The other, you know, plus side is 99.9% of the technique you learn on one instrument will always, you know, transfer over to, so from ukulele to guitar, for example. They're completely, pretty much interchangeable once you know, get to a point where you understand what's going on. So if you want to play a little, give us a little demo of what it sounds like. Cool. Might be a little out of tune. That chord sounds really cool though. It's got like an exotic sound to it. But awesome. So yeah, you know what you see most people do. You know, yeah. What you see most people do with the ukulele is, you know, strum and, you know, things like that. So they're really popular. And what, you know, you see most of the time is people playing them and singing. So they have a pleasing sound to accompany, you know, a singer, and they're a little bit easier than guitar to get going. So I think we're all set with the drums and ukulele, so we'll move on to some other stuff here. Thank you so much, guys. Leo and Dominic.
Nice job.
So, what we're gonna do now is just, you know, introduce a couple guitars, specifically for, you know, junior size players. I'm gonna, you know, talk about a couple full size guitars as well. But so for this next part, we're gonna have my student Dominic come up here. The second Dominic in a row.
Good name. All right.
And I have my 2-year-old here somewhere too. His name is Maverick, and we did think
He's right here.
Yeah, we considered Dominic for a name for him too.
Yeah.
So that would have been interesting. So yeah, let's set up. So we got a school board here. So Dominic is awesome, and I've been working with him probably longer than, he's one of the first students I, you know, started teaching. Sorry, do you mind if I talk about it? Oh, okay, so it's a little emotional. I mean, you know, for me, and I imagine, you know, maybe for the parents too. But you know, and I don't want to get, I don't want to put everything out here, but okay. So I started working with Dominic. He's 5 years old. His grandfather was a guitar player. His mom's father, and in the first lesson, by the end of the first lesson, there was a really, I could tell it was very important for Dominic to play guitar, and he was 100% dedicated to doing that, and so it was just really interesting. So at the end of the first lesson, his mom gave me a copy of the grandfather's CD that he had released, shortly before he unfortunately passed. And being that I had lost, my father, and kind of things like that, I feel, very, very confident in saying, guitar is the right thing for him to, tribute his grandfather, things like that. So I listened to the CD, and it's really amazing. The grandfather, his grandfather was a very talented guitar player, and I don't know much about what history he has, but he's played with some bands around and stuff. So recently we've started working on one of his songs too, which is really, really exciting for me and him. So that's enough of that. But I felt Dominic deserved a bit of a due introduction, because so that's the end of that. So what we're gonna do, very, very, briefly and, awesomely, is Dominic is gonna show us, he's an acoustic guitar student, so he has an acoustic guitar pretty much just like this. It's slightly different, but so this is something that he has right now. This is what we've been, basically doing all our lessons on. It's a small scale guitar, so it's not a full size. You can't just go. For a beginner, it's a little more difficult to get started on full size. So he's got a short scale here. So what he's gonna do is show us a little something, show us how it sounds. Maybe do a couple of those slides. So we got slides. Why don't you show 1, 2. So we've been working on some country stuff. He's a big fan of Luke Combs. So we were kind of working on some bass lines for stuff, and one of the things we really, just like I kind of showed you in the beginning, slides. They're fun and they're unique to guitar, so I think they're, a good place to start, for young students, having fun with it rather than, fully just being completely, obsessed with playing every note perfectly. So now, I don't think he's ever played one up until today, but we got an electric guitar here, so he's gonna show us what this sounds like here. Careful. So we're gonna plug you in.
No, you can't call here.
Make sure your volume is up. So we got it. So, and the other thing I did kind of want to talk about for my so, the one thing I did kind of want to also talk about is this thing, which I, played my guitar through, and it's a, for players who are, keep going, that's awesome. So for players who are ready to, go to the next step, really. You know, you got your basic amp, guitar package. You know, you can get one of these. I mean, this is my personal one, which costs a little. It was a little bit more expensive, but you can get, you know, more basic models for. They're these little boxes that you just, you know, plug your guitar in, and it has like 2 switches on it, and it's basically like a like presets, something that you would have presets on, like maybe like a I don't know. You just basically scroll through and you can get all these different sounds. So, you know, you can go anywhere from, you know, a cleaner sound to, you know, something more weird. I mean, so all of those different sounds were coming from that pedal. You saw I was like pressing the different buttons, and you know, different sounds were happening. So, you know, what something like this is really good for is someone who's getting started, kind of doesn't really know exactly what style they want to play, and it gives you an opportunity. I mean, you can go from, you know, acoustic to metal to jazz or whatever you want to do here. So we're all set here, I think, with the presentation. I think that was about it. Make sure you sign up for that. And I really appreciate everyone for coming. And this is, you know, I say it's, you know, I did this for my students, but, you know, I really pretty selfishly almost did it just for me to, you know, I feel sometimes, but, you know, we're all here, and like I said, I want this to be, everyone's up here sharing the stage with me next time. So, and also you'll see, you know, they have a really nice stage outside, which they do events every weekend on the stage out there. So my next plan is I will be setting up, you know, some type of recital on the stage for, you know, any and all of my students to, you know, perform. It won't be as much of a me talking and rambling type of situation, more of a, you know, concert, which will be awesome. Also, there is, you know, if anyone's interested in maybe a more in-depth tour, or, you know, if anyone feels lost here or whatever, please, you know, just, and I would love to, you know, just like I set him up with a guitar to try out. I want to set up all my students and, you know, have everyone have an opportunity to try stuff out, you know. So that's, I guess I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, like I said, I mean, there's coffee and donuts here. I'm gonna be here for the afternoon. Got a couple of my students coming through later, so, you know, hang out as long as you want. Check stuff out. There's you know, CDs over there. There's everything you need, you know, and the salespeople here are all very knowledgeable and, you know, real, and, you know, it's not really like going into Walmart, you know, where I'm not trying to set them up here, but, you know, they will be accommodating. If you have a certain budget, they're gonna, you know, they'll probably pull something used out of the basement for you to take a look at. So, you know, if you have questions, grab salesperson, grab me. We'll do whatever we can to, you know, get you going. If you're here to shop, you know, if you're here to check stuff out, just check stuff out, have fun, and that's where we're at. So that's it.
Thanks, Michael. Yay.